What is up, everybody? How's it going? GearTube TV coming at you with another video. I had a problem the last snowstorm we had when I was plowing snow using the four-wheeler, and today we're going to fix that problem. I broke the winch cable. You know, having a plow on the front of a four-wheeler is very hard on a winch cable because it's such a sharp angle going up and down repeatedly that puts a lot of stress on the cable. It snapped. So I'm out here in the garage. I believe I have the snapped cable end out here somewhere over here on my workbench. Oh, yep, here it is. Okay. So right here is where it snapped, pretty much right at, see if I can get it to focus here. Right at the joint coupling, whatever you want to call it. It just sheared right off. Now, having this rubber stopper on here does help from pulling too far in. However, you can see here the metal is ground down a little bit on both sides of that piece. So that tells me that this was going into the fairlead, which are the rollers on the front. And long story short, I ordered a replacement cable about a week ago. It's been sitting in the house. I traveled to Florida in the meantime, and I also got the flu last week. So now that I'm done battling the flu, we're finally ready to replace this cable. So go back over to the other garage where the four-wheeler is. And as you can see, I already took the plow off. This is a 60-inch plow. I'm sure everybody's known that from the previous video. And real simple, it's just two cotter pins or two shear pins that goes into the plow mount on the bottom. So you pull those pins, this drops out. I put it on a furniture dolly for right now so I can just move it around wherever I need to and get access to the winch, which has since wound itself back in between the fairleads. So let me get a tripod set up here and we will pull this old winch cable off and put the new one on. I don't know if you can see me. Rule number one is safety. These are my mechanics impact gloves. You should always wear gloves when working with steel winch cables, always. No ifs, ands, or buts. So I fished the cable off of the spool back through the fairlead, and step number one is to put your winch into free spool, which allows you to just pull the cable off. And this has 50 feet worth of cable on it, so the reason we wear gloves, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but there's little barbs of wire that stick out. They come loose, and those can mess up your hands pretty bad, can chew you up really good. And then you get these places like this, it's kind of flattened, and that's no good either. So 50 feet of cable, it's not rocket science. If I can bring you guys up here to see this. Hopefully. Let's see. Okay, so the winch cable goes through and then doubles back upon itself somehow. There it is. Okay. So, I will show you what the deal is with this bend and why it was such a pain in the ass to get out. Okay, if you hear the cat meow in the background, I apologize. That cat's been around for like 18 years, so you may hear it. Anyway, so this is the replacement winch cable. And I'll show you how it was packaged from Warren. It says ATV hardware kit. It is a 3/16 by 50 foot winch cable, and it comes with a little bit of an instruction sheet. This little button here is what was screwing me with getting the winch cable off. So I'm going to stand behind the camera to make sure you can see this. If you look here, that little button goes in the middle of the cable, and then you wrap the cable around and feed it back in, and then as you spool it will tighten. So there it is, that's a little metal button. That's why I thought that the winch cable would just pull straight out, but it doesn't. You actually have to, I used a screwdriver and a hammer and pushed back to give that piece some slack, that free end, and then that button came out, and then the winch cable came right out. So the next step is to put the new cable on. I did not get a new clevis hook because there was no need to, but it did come with a new red winch pull, which whatever. Yeah. So I actually ordered 2 cables because I figured it was always good to have a spare on hand. I'm replacing this one. I could have very easily spliced the broken one because it was only broken right at the end. I could have spliced a new piece on there to move the hook a little bit, but I just figured it'd be easier just to replace the whole cable, then I don't have to worry about it. And then next winter, when I inevitably snap another one, I have another cable. So we're good to go for a little bit. Okay. Which is not in free spool. Put our gloves on. Re-spooling is not that difficult of a concept. The basic idea is to have the cable under pressure while you wind it. And it says it needs to be under at least 500 pounds of load. Now my four-wheeler weighs 600 and some odd pounds, but it's on wheels, so if you try to use the weight of the four-wheeler, you're not getting a true 500 to 600 pound load pulling on the cable. Alright. Kick our old cable off to the side. Okay, so here's the end. We just feed it right through. And we want it to go into the spot where we just pulled it out of, if I can find it. We need to wind it a little bit here. There it is. Alright, so my other hand back here. Now, personally, I'm not going to use that little metal pill. What I'm going to do is feed the cable in to where it wants to come out the other side, but I'm not going to double back. because I'm just going to use drag and wind it on itself. When you're winching, you never want to pull the last coil of cable off. So, you know, the reality is, how much am I going to actually use this winch? I don't know. Maybe pull a couple bushes out with it and plow snow. But it's good to have. So I just fed it in there a little bit, and then I'm going to start winding. But I need to hold some tension on this till I get the first set of coils on. So when you start to see it wrap, you need to take a look in there. Okay, so I have a problem already, which is no big deal. We just gotta back it off and try again. Let's take a look here. Okay, so I fed too much cable through the center of the spool and it was sticking out the other end. So now we're ready to start winding. This is when it'd be good to have a remote, which I did not buy yet, but that's gonna be on my shopping list because I can stand here with the remote and hold some tension and click it. So yeah, let's keep going. All right, whoops. Okay, so now we want to start pulling a little more tension on it. And once we get a couple rounds on there, it's not going to go anywhere. Just need to untangle our cable here. Okay, I have some drag set up on it out in the driveway. Okay. All right, done deal. Warren Pro Vantage 2500 cable replacement.